Patriots, we got some drama. Oh boy, do we have some drama. And look, I know y'all love a little White House drama. Y'all showed up when we saw that John Kirby and Karine Jean-Pierre were butting heads and that Joe Biden had favorites. And you were all salivating at the mouth to figure out why. Well, what's going on with Karine? What's going on with John Kirby? Why are they butting heads? Why don't they like each other? And we broke all that down for you. Well. Is there some spicy news between Joe Biden and his best friend, allegedly, Barack Obama? And we're going to break it all down for you. Patriots, hit that like and subscribe button if you can, if you feel like we deserve it. And let's jump into a little bit of the news before we get into the nitty-gritty, the spicy details, the salt and pepper. We have Donald Trump, and rightfully so. He's demanding CBS release the full Kamala 60 minutes interview after footage deceptively was altered, and it was. And this is not the first time. I want to point out, this is not the first time they've sat there and edited her content to make it seem like she's coherent, to make it seem like she's an intellectual, to make it seem like, wow, she answered that really quickly and not too bad. The sad thing is that even though they edited this thing, she still sucked. She was terrible. She couldn't answer basic questions. So the only problem really, not just the fact that it's going to make her look bad, is also the fact that it's supposed to be 60 minutes, Trump. This is going to be a 4-hour interview because they chopped it up so much. So check this out. Former President Donald Trump's campaign is demanding that CBS News release the full unedited video of Vice President Kamala Harris on 60 Minutes after a significant discrepancy was discovered that appears to show that the interview was deceptively edited to benefit Harris. Of course it was. Why else would she go on 60 Minutes? She was on Colbert the other night having beers on air while people's homes are being destroyed, while people are being freaking displaced. The moment in question came when host Bill Whitaker was discussing with Harris United States financial support for Israel in its war against the genocidal Islamic terrorists in the region. But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening, Whitaker said to Harris. So let's see a little bit of what that looks like, folks. Here's the first clip, okay? Here it is.
We supply Israel with billions of dollars in military aid. Mm-hmm. And yet Prime Minister Netanyahu seems to be charting his own course. The Biden-Harris administration has pressed him to agree to a ceasefire. He's resisted. You urged him not to go into Lebanon. He went in anyway. He has promised to make Iran pay for the missile attack, and that has the potential of expanding the war. Does the U.S. have no sway over Prime Minister Netanyahu?
The aid that we have given Israel allowed Israel to defend itself against 200 ballistic missiles that were just meant to attack the Israelis and the people of Israel. And when we think about the threat that Hamas, Hezbollah presents, Iran, I think that it is without any question our imperative to do what we can to allow Israel to defend itself against those kinds of attacks. Now, the work that we do diplomatically with the leadership of Israel is an ongoing pursuit around making clear our principles, which include the need for humanitarian aid, the need for this war to end, the need for a deal to be done, which would release the hostages and create a ceasefire. And we're not going to stop in terms of putting that pressure on Israel and in the region, including Arab leaders.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not...
So that whole thing, from my understanding that you just saw, well, here's where it gets cut. Right here. This is the cut. At 1:36 is the cut. So just to go back, okay, it gets a little confusing. The relevant portion starts at 1:36, okay? That's where we're starting at right now. This was the promotional clip that CBS posted. Here we go. So 1:36, let's start on the dot. There we go. Here we go.
It seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
Do we have a real close ally in Prime Minister Netanyahu?
I think, with all due respect, the better question is, do we have an important alliance between the American people and the Israeli people? And the answer to that question is yes.
Whoa. Wow. What a terrible answer. I didn't hear that part. That last bit was news to me. So in the full interview, when it was published by the network on Monday, that statement from Harris was nowhere to be found. Those words were not included anywhere in the televised broadcast, nor did it appear in the interview when it was posted on YouTube, the interview's transcript, or the show's overtime segment. Instead, on television, in an interview posted online, Whitaker's identical statement that it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening is followed by Harris saying, we are not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end. What's interesting is that makes it seem like a very good answer, but as you saw, that's not what she said. The second set of remarks from Harris is what is included in the transcript published by the network, which we already covered as well. So the question is why did they cut out her word salad? That's a good question. Why are they sitting there deceptively manipulating the American people? Well, because that's what they have been doing for the last 4 years. This guy here, brain ain't working. Hasn't been working for years. Deceptively misleading the American people. Don't want to sit there and show that he is effectively not really running the country. So who is? Was it Kamala Harris? Was it Barack Obama? Was it, hell, the deep state? Was it these elites in Davos? We don't know. I'm curious to find out the answer, just like all of you are, but they're going to sit there and manipulate you. And then all the while, right, you're the one that's creating the cheap fakes, deep fakes, right? We're the ones that are spreading misinformation, and that comes from the psychos at The View. It comes from the psychos on the media. It comes from the Democrat Party. These conspiracy theorists, what do they know? Well, it turns out we know hell of a lot, because we were right about COVID. We were right about the masks. We were right about Ouchie Fauci being a liar. We were right about Joe Biden's brain ain't working. We were right about a lot of stuff. We were right about the terrorists coming across the border. We were right about the fentanyl killing thousands, hundreds of thousands of Americans. I mean, it's a remarkable for conspiracy theorists. Take us to Vegas, baby, because we be right a lot of the time.